All right, let's talk about searching. Have you ever typed something into a database and gotten like a million results? Or maybe the opposite, almost nothing at all. It's super frustrating, right? Well, it doesn't have to be. Today, we're going to pop open the search toolbox and show you some really simple, powerful techniques that are going to turn you into an absolute search genius. Let's dive in. So, here's the plan. First, we're going to talk about that common search problem we all face. Then we'll start grabbing our tools. Tools for getting super precise, tools for combining keywords, and even tools for getting rid of all the junk we don't need. And by the end of this, trust me, you're going to walk away with a whole new set of search superpowers. You know the feeling. You have a really specific question, you type it in, and you get one of two things, and they're both just awful. You're either drowning in an ocean of information, or you're staring at a completely empty screen.
Yeah, first up is that digital avalanche. You search for what you think is a pretty simple term, and suddenly the database just buries you under a mountain of stuff that has nothing to do with what you wanted.
I mean, just look at this. A search for one single word, educate, and you get back over 76,000 results. Who has time to sift through all that? It's the perfect example of information overload. It's just too much.
But then you've got the flip side of that coin. You know the information has to be out there somewhere, but your search just comes up completely empty.
In this case, a really specific search for sensory defensive autism only gives us 7 results, and it feels like you've hit a brick wall. So whether it's way too much or way too little, it's pretty clear that just typing in a few keywords and hoping for the best, well, it just doesn't work.
So what's the secret? We have to stop thinking like we're just throwing words at a computer and start using what are called operators. And don't worry, this isn't complicated code or anything. As the Begley Library puts it, you should just think of each one as a special tool for solving a specific kind of problem. And right now, we're going to learn how to use them.
All right, let's open up the first tray in our toolbox. We're starting with the precision tools. These are the ones that let you zero in and find exactly what you're looking for.
So let's say you're searching for hand sewing. To you, that's a specific phrase. But the database just sees 2 words, hand and sewing. It then goes looking for anything that has both of those words somewhere in it. That's why you get over 1,000 results, full of junk about machine sewing gloves to fit someone's hand. It's just noise. But check out this incredibly simple fix. Just by putting quotation marks around hand sewing, you're giving the database a new instruction. Find these exact words, side by side, in this exact order. And boom! We go from over 1,000 results down to just 174 really relevant ones. Now that's a serious upgrade.
Here's a good way to think about it. Quotation marks are like a pair of tweezers. Instead of using a big shovel and digging up a bunch of dirt, you're reaching in and plucking out the exact phrase you need. It is the absolute easiest first step to getting your search results under control.
Okay, next tool up, truncation. This one's a game changer. You basically take the root of a word and add an asterisk, that little star symbol. It tells the database, hey, find me this root word plus any possible ending it might have. It's kind of like the skeleton key for your search toolbox. It unlocks so many possibilities.
Now this slide is the perfect example of how amazing and how dangerous this tool can be. On the left, you type educate star and you get educate, education, educational, perfect. But you got to be careful. On the right, if you shorten it too much to just ed star, you're going to get Edward and Eden and even edamame. The trick is to find that sweet spot, the longest possible root of the word.
So now we've got our precision tools down, let's open up the next tray in the toolbox and look at the connectors. These are the operators that let us build bigger, smarter, much more powerful searches. First up is and. Now, to be fair, a lot of databases these days just assume you mean and when you type 2 words, but it is so important to get in the habit of using it on purpose. You use and to connect different ideas, right? Like if you're looking for the impact of X on Y. It narrows your search because it demands that all of your terms show up.
But what if you need to go bigger? That's where OR comes into play. Just look at this search. Search A is looking for articles about hockey that mention both the United States and Canada. But look at Search B. It finds articles about hockey that mention the United States or Canada. And wow, look at that difference. We just jumped from 2,000 results to over 33,000. OR is perfect for synonyms or related ideas. It always makes your search bigger.
Okay, now let's put it all together. I know this can look a little intimidating at first, but the logic is actually really simple. Just think of the parentheses as little containers for your ideas. So, in step 1, we use or to group similar things, like alcohol or tobacco. Then in step 2, we use and to connect that whole container to another idea. And then we can keep nesting these containers to get more and more specific. The database just works from the inside out. Easy.
And there it is, the final search, in all its glory. We're asking for articles about discrimination in treatment centers related to substance use, specifically when it involves either alcohol or tobacco. We've got quotes, we've got parentheses, we've got and we've got or. This isn't just a search anymore. This is a precision instrument we've built. So, after all that, after building that beautiful, complex, precision instrument of a search, what do we get? Out of potentially thousands and thousands of articles, it found us 6. Just 6. 6 hyper-relevant, exactly on-topic results. Now that is the power of using your whole toolbox.
We've got one last tool to add to our kit. And this one isn't about finding more stuff. It's about getting rid of the stuff you don't want. Let's talk about the awesome power of the not operator.
The problem is pretty obvious, right? Some words just have more than one meaning. Let's say you're researching the fruit apple. Well, good luck, because your results are going to be absolutely flooded with articles about the tech company. All of those results in that second bar, that's just clutter, getting in your way.
And this is where not becomes your absolute best friend. By telling the search, I want Apple, but not computer, not smartphone, not tablet, we can surgically remove all of that irrelevant noise. We just wiped out tens of thousands of useless results with one simple command. It's the ultimate cleanup tool.
And just like that, our search toolbox is complete. You now know how to use quotation marks for laser-like precision, the asterisk for all those word variations, and, or, and parentheses to connect and build ideas, and not to filter out all the junk.
Really, the big takeaway here is that you've leveled up. You're not just guessing and throwing words into a search bar anymore. You now have the skills to actually build a search query, to think like a strategist, and to find precisely what you're looking for. You are officially a search strategist. So the only question left is, what are you going to find now?